The ANC's National Executive Committee will hold a meeting today in Irene outside Pretoria to discuss the problems besetting its provincial structures. Various structures in regions and provinces have been struggling to meet due to the infighting within the organisation. 2 weeks ago, the ANC KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Conference was aborted following the court interdict by disgruntled branches in the Moses Mabhida region. Widespread protests that have characterized the Northwest Province have seen the province without a premier for some time after Supra Mahumapelo was forced to resign a few weeks ago. The continuing state in the ANC has led some saying if the governing party doesn't get its house in order, it may suffer in the upcoming 2019 elections. Well, for more on this story, we're joined by our colleague Mzwandile Mbeche, who's at Irene. Thanks very much for joining us, Mzwandile. What's taking place there? Has the meeting begun?
Thank you very much, Nompu. Indeed, the meeting has begun here in Irene, where the NEC is meeting to look at various challenges besetting it. And Nompu, as we got here, you can see right behind me, there is a number of ANC people protesting. These people are from the West Rand region. So this is an addition to the problems that really the ANC is trying to deal with. Remember, one of those pre-issues they were coming to deal with was the issue of Northwest and the issue of KwaZulu-Natal and various other structures. This structure that is here today is from West Rand. They are complaining that the dispute resolution is not fair. There is a number of branch general meetings that are being ignored. So they are accusing the leadership of that region really of subverting the processes of the ANC. That is why they want their voice to be heard by the NEC that is sitting here. We tried to speak to some of them. Many have been refusing, saying they want to speak to the leadership first because it's the leadership that will assist them to resolve the problems. Right now, the meeting is happening inside, so we expect to walk in there to get a picture and perhaps a clip from what exactly is happening. But essentially, Nompu, this NEC is settled with the situation of resolving the issue of Northwest. Remember, they haven't had the premier since the permanent premier since Supra Mahumapelo resigned a couple of weeks ago. Then they need to come to a resolution to that situation. And added to that, we understand there's been a number of people that have been proposed, but they've been rejected by various sectors. When Premier Mahumapelo resigned about a few weeks ago, so they came with a few names to the NEC that said, but it was not resolved because some of the members of the NEC objected to those names. Subsequently, other names have been coming up, including the name of Edna Mulewa and the name of the ambassador to the United Nations right now, Ambassador Machila. But it appears there has not been any agreement as to how this thing will go forward. But the fact of the matter is that this NEC needs to be able to resolve that issue. I can also add the issue of KwaZulu-Natal. The province was supposed to have an elective conference 2 weeks ago. That conference did not happen because of the issues that were raised by the Moses Mabhida region in KZN. So they have to deal with a number of issues. Today they are faced with this issue that they also need to attend to, Nompo.
Mzwandile, if this situation isn't resolved, what's at stake? People are very concerned about the next year's election. What do you think would be at stake?
Nombo, this tends to send perhaps a very best message for leadership because it suggests that the leadership may not necessarily be in charge. Everyone seems to be doing as they please. So if this situation really is not resolved, it will hurt the campaign of the ANC. Remember, if you want to campaign for the national elections, you have to have solid structures on ground, so which will be the contact points for various formations that need to carry out those campaigns. With this kind of chaos that we are seeing across the country, particularly in Northwest and KZN, and some pockets of chaotic scenes elsewhere in the country, it creates a very bad image for the leadership because it gives an impression that the leadership is not in charge or the leadership really is not capable of resolving the situation. So that is why this NEC today needs to be able to come with strong and decisive leadership as to what should happen. Because if the situation continues and every now and then people are complaining that they are not being listened to, so it will really lead to a very unstable ANC, which many people are very worried about.
Mzwandile, very lastly, we're getting rumours that there's talk about disbanding the Eastern Cape ANC. Have you heard anything about that? Can you confirm that?
As I said, Nompu, the ANC NEC right now is faced with a number of challenges, from the issues arising in the Eastern Cape to the issues in KwaZulu-Natal and Northwest, and of course in Gauteng, as the West Rand you can see here. There are also other pockets of difficulties elsewhere. All those issues put together are what the ANC is confronting today. So they need to be able to be decisive as to what exactly they need to do. And the issue of the Eastern Cape is really important, because other people are going as far as saying if the outcome were to be negative there, it would impact on the national leadership that was elected in Nasrec. I know that possibility, other people are saying, is very remote, but the fact that there are people who are complaining, who are raising certain concerns, must worry the national leadership. And the national leadership must really be able to provide direction, because if it continues to be seen as weak and as not in charge, these sins will repeat themselves elsewhere in the country.
All right, Mzwandile, thank you very much for that report. That was Mzwandile Mbeche reporting from Irene near Pretoria. Nzinga?